Greetings again. This is Scott, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm back on another video with an idea that has been going around for a long time. And actually, we heard a lot about this idea in the 60s, the 1960s, with the civil rights movement and advances in freedom and respect and recognition of minorities, in particular the African American community. And I am obviously not African American. I'm going to open with that. I don't claim to understand the struggles of people who are actually black, but I do have some thoughts on some high-profile figures of that movement. And I think there's an opportunity to clarify or for people to understand some not obvious details about Malcom X and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., names that I'm certain everybody's heard of. So if you know a little bit about the history, there's two different, pretty clearly different philosophies in use by these people. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. advocated passive resistance, working with the system, inside the system, and peacefully in an effort, from my understanding. This is my understanding. I'm going to qualify everything I say as this is perhaps debatable, some of it, but it's based on what I've learned in school, what I've read, what I've seen in movies, and I think that I have a pretty clear idea of what these people believed and how they acted and how they affected society. Now, here's the thing. Passive resistance, which was kind of one of the core concepts of affecting change as advanced by the Reverend Doctor, works if you assume that the system is salvageable. I'm going to just say that one more time. Passive resistance and peaceful change are appropriate and called for if one is assuming that the system isn't designed to fail to begin with, that the system can possibly work and that it should be worked around and within. Okay, so Malcom X, on the other hand, let's talk about him, had a more aggressive philosophy, and his whole big thing was by any means necessary. If you think about what that involves, by any means necessary includes up to and including violence when called for. So highly controversial. Now, here's the focus of this video. It's not to advocate for one or the other. Rather, it's to help disambiguate that these people were both right under different circumstances. They were talking about different things. Okay, understand that these aren't two different ways to solve the same problem. And here's the opportunity. One of them, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was dealing with a problem of people who wish to acknowledge, respect, and work within an agreement. Whereas Malcom X was saying there is no agreement beyond a point. And at that point, we are obligated as respectful people to defend ourselves by any means necessary. So they're talking about different things, and one is talking about a problem inside the system and trying to deal with it inside the system, and one is talking about there is no system once it breaks down to a point, and at that point, there's no agreement. There's no you are personally obligated to defend yourself by any means necessary, was his whole thing. So anyway, they're both right. And that's my big point here, is they're both right depending on what kind of context you're talking about. So I don't think people see it that way. People say one's right and one's not, and they think that they're talking about the same problems, and they're not. So anyway, I love questions and comments. whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Reach out if you have any, and I thank you for your time. Have a great day.